Fit for TV, a new Netflix documentary that has sparked a conversation for us. So welcome back to the channel with me, your host, Dr. Debra Durst, and my co-host.
Hey guys, Faraday Goli, family nurse practitioner here at RevitalyzeMD. And like most of our podcasts, all around a conversation that then goes off the rails and ends up becoming a podcast.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times we've already had it in different ways, and then they make a show about it that's somewhat related to what we were talking about. So Fit for TV, Faraday was filling me in that's a new Netflix documentary. I have not seen it yet, but it's talking about the long game of wellness and weight loss and what that entails. And so
we talk so much on our podcast about aging well, living well, weight loss, hormone optimization, how to be the best version of ourselves in our sexual wellness, just in overall health and longevity. And this podcast or this show came on, and I saw it show up on my Netflix, and it was rated pretty high. I also have not watched all of it, but I've gotten the good gist of it. Is it's based off The Biggest Loser, and how these contestants went onto this show and they won money if they lost the most weight. And really what it kind of boils down to is how unsafe these extreme diets and these fads are for the contestants. And honestly, that relates to real life for patients. There is no quick fix. We should not be doing these extreme diets because they're not sustainable.
Yeah. It's always long game.
Always.
And so whatever
nobody wants to hear that.
No, nobody wants to hear it. But ultimately, I think that most people know that there's going to be a daily consistent effort on a patient's part, even if we're doing hormone optimization or peptides, that there is our part and then it's their part. And so that's consistent long game of putting in the physical activity and being active and eating right and exercising. We don't get fit after going to the gym one time or eating unhealthy.
We all look for the fads. Yes. And we all are looking for quick how to lose weight. I've got a wedding coming up. How do I lose 10 pounds in 2 months? We're all looking for quick fixes. We want everything immediate. We're a society of immediate gratification. And if it doesn't fall in that, it doesn't meet our standards.
It's the American way.
Right? We want it. We want it now.
Yeah, we want it. It's like the bigger, the better. Right. And so I think that this show was way back. So The Biggest Loser, last episode, 2016. So a long time ago.
Aired 2004. I had to look that up.
But now seeing the health consequences of such a big loss over a short period of time. And so what are some of those quick fixes that over time people have tried? Like diet pills for one of them.
Yeah. And a lot of those are no longer on the market because of heart side effects.
Yeah.
There are some that are still on the market, like what is the
Phentermine?
That's it. Thank you. I went blank.
Yeah.
That can also cause heart issues that you have to be really careful with.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show, I will point out as we do that, is that not every FDA approved thing is without risk. So we jump to, is it FDA approved? Is it not? Where we have had FDA approved not only medications, but medications are a perfect example. If you look at the potential side effects and even potential mortality, there's usually some morbidity and mortality that comes along with medication. So if you read the drug, monograph for a medication, it has every potential side effect, but there's also mortality with it. But even surgical devices such as mesh have been FDA approved and then taken off, and those things are surgically implanted. So I'm just saying that it just goes to show that FDA approval doesn't always equal safe. And so if something is later pulled off the market or there's a black box warning or whatever, it just goes to say that you need to also follow your instincts on whether you think this is healthy or something that you should do. And a medication for weight loss probably would not be an answer. But anyhow.
So that's one. And then there's the supplements, the Thin Fins that were on, the another one that was pulled. I remember like my sister had one that my mom would throw away, like even as being younger. Right? That there's always been something out there that you could buy over the counter. The HCG diet.
That was huge.
That one was huge. And it was like 500 calories. And you took HCG, you ate 500 calories, and then you had a day you only ate apples or something crazy like that.
Yeah. I can't even imagine the 500 calories. And I've had lots of conversations with patients about that too, but they did report it working. I just have never heard a sustained story with that weight loss. So
Atkins, all the people that just like ate bacon every single day.
And then he died.
Yeah.
Of heart disease. Yeah. And then extreme over fitness, like
overworking out. So grueling. So moderate exercise, right? It's good to break muscle down and build it, but over exertion, grueling, excessive exercise is not without potential negative ramifications. So everything in life is within moderation.
Yeah.
You need to work out. You should be a little bit sore. You should lift and feel some soreness, but you shouldn't feel pain with lifting. We shouldn't go beyond where we're throwing up and passing out and having extreme reactions with working out, which was happening on that show.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, again, you can't exercise your way into, a very thin body.
Not
you
if
have
your
to
diet's
eat your
terrible.
way. Yeah. And then not eating enough is an issue. So I think that calories in, calories out that we have been taught over the years is also a myth. And so this just it just goes to show that, again, I think this documentary, based on what we have been discussing about it, because it did spark the conversation, even though I haven't seen any of it, for our patients, it's long game. So we always just say, hey, here's where you are. Here's where you want to be. And along that way, we've got to develop some habits. And if we are using agents or peptides to assist, it's still long game. And they're being monitored on a regular basis and using that as an adjunct to assist with their habit changes over that period of
I tell
weight loss.
patients all the time, the best diet is the diet that you can sustain. So it is not something that you're going to do for 3 months or 6 months. It's got to be a lifestyle change. Like you said, it's the long game. If you want a sweet, have a sweet, but don't eat a sweet every day, all day.
Yeah.
It's all moderation. It's eating healthy fats, proteins, regular exercise. It's hormone optimization.
It's all of it.
It's all of it.
And I think that we have to change things as we get older. And so I think that we've all heard eat healthy and exercise more. And
what doctor doesn't say make lifestyle changes?
Yeah. So it's always a given that you have to do that. But then we do see a lot of men and women that have been doing the right things and not seeing because of hormonal changes. So optimizing those hormones or making some adjustments in the fitness that you're doing as your hormones are declining. One of the two has to happen for that to sustain. But I agree with you. I would say that 5% of people are very regimented and can be super strict about never eating like a dessert or never having alcohol or whatever it is. But most of the people are going to fall into that. I'm not going to be great, 99% of the time. It's just not going to happen.
And think of how many patients come in
has to be,
and say, I did this diet, I lost weight, but now I've gained all my weight back.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what happened from my understanding with The Biggest Losers. A lot of these contestants gained all their weight back because it's not sustainable.
And also there were some metabolic effects with that.
Absolutely.
Right? That there may or may not have been some, signaling in the body, some hormonal changes that happen when you lose weight too fast. If you're old and you lose weight too fast, or
there's hormonal shifts.
Too old for it, then there's also an issue because your skin doesn't bounce back. But there's just hormonal changes in transmitters and signaling in the body that's going to change if you're doing something in an unhealthy manner. So I always think long game, things that you can do to assist your weight loss, but some changes that you need to do. Obviously, activity is important, but as we get to be andropause, testosterone is dropping in a man and a woman, whether it's perimenopause or menopause, and that could be testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, that you need to, again, add that resistance training, heavier weights. There's some definite changes, not eating or not working out fasted. Definitely not in the morning because your cortisol level is higher. So there's a lot of information out there now about that, but you need to make some changes, and sustainability is key. So nothing that requires too much willpower. and just, be easy on yourself if you aren't strict with it. Tomorrow's still another day, and then you can get back on the path forward. But I think extreme willpower is just, if you're depending on never ever having a dessert, instead if you were like, hey, I'm going to have a dessert on Sundays, whatever it is.
It's like the low carb diets. Mm-hmm. You're going to have some pasta or a piece of bread at some point in your life.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay in moderation. I think that's probably where we fail. It's the moderation part.
Well, and it's not like moderation. And so I do think that the one thing fitness-wise that I've read more and more about is that moderate training, when people will do it, sometimes doesn't work very well for that. So I think fasted, low resistance, or low, low resistance, what do I want to call it? Not low intensity workouts. Then you want to do that fasted because it'll burn fat. But then when you're going to do, instead of staying in that moderate, like zone 2, to actually hit it more.
Doing a HIIT
and
workout.
do more extreme if you're going to do it, because it just needs that external stress on the body. And so that's the only thing. But otherwise, moderation, yeah.
Moderation with food. Exercise, you can be, like Dr. Durst said, you can do low, you can do high, you can do the HIIT. I like to mix it up. I think the body needs to be able to have some of that cardiovascular, but you need weight training. That's one thing across the board. You need to have some weight resistant training.
And protein.
Yeah.
And lots of protein. So perimeter of the store works really well. Yes. So if you just stay in the perimeter, like where there's fresh food, the meats are out there, and so nothing processed in the center of the store. And then, choose healthy options, but add in lots of protein, and then making sure you work out and resistance training and weight. And those are the little changes. But I think if you're going to do something, you definitely don't want to do it too fast or too extreme. And if you're ever going to use those peptides to assist, like the GLP-1s, that's a guided journey. Mm-hmm. And it's just something that you're using potentially in a low dose to, assist. But really, it's long game with healthy lifestyle and hormone optimization if it's right for you, and then peptides, just depending on what kind of peptides there are.
Yeah, sustainable nutrition, having someone that tracks your gains. We use an InBody in our office to track muscle and fat composition to see, are we improving? Are we not improving? Where are we backsliding? What do we need to change?
Yeah.
So something that is objective. That we can track with patients. So it's looking at a holistic approach. So diet and exercise are always going to be important. Supplements where we're not getting it from our diet. Hormones, if we need hormones. Peptides are phenomenal, and there are so many out there, whether they are to assist with insulin production or regulation, or if they are to help with growth hormone production. There are just so many out there that are available to help in this process, if that's the route that you're choosing to go. But hormones are huge.
Yeah, I think that was all nicely said. This is a nice recap for everything. And I think that most of our patients and who we're speaking to is that moderate, middle of the road, healthy, want to be healthy, progressive mindset, but maybe not extreme fitness, that these are all, reasonable approaches that, and it just reinforces you're doing the right things. And then if you have anything that we haven't mentioned, please add it in the comments. We would love to hear your comments. Let's have a conversation. And let us know if there's anything else you want to talk about as far as sexual wellness or wellness, because we are willing to deep dive into anything.